you doing here?
Well, we planted this rosemary. We took a start from my aide when I represented Eureka. She had some in her yard, and I took a bunch of cuts and we planted it here at the barn. It's grown unbelievably well, and it's so fragrant. And this is the rosemary we use for everything we cook. I take it back to Washington, D.C., and like everything, it grows extremely well here, and it's just fun to be out messing around in the garden. We've got some apple trees that we planted. We planted 25 apple trees. If I had it to do over again, though, what I would do is I would mark which varieties of apples we planted where, so we don't know what we have until they come ripe. We also have persimmon trees on the side here that produce a lot of persimmons. And we've got olive trees. We use the olives both for making olive oil and for aesthetic purposes. They're very pretty. You're going to see probably the worst one on the place, but they line the front driveway coming in, and they line the front of the ranch along the road. But we make olive oil, and it tastes great. It's fantastic olive oil.
So can you tell me what kind of olive tree that is?
It's one of 3 or 4 different types that we planted. It's an Italian field blend, so it makes great olive oil. And we've got the vineyard, and it's Sauvignon Blanc and top quality fruit. Well, I'm Mike Thompson, and I'm honored to represent the 5th Congressional District of California, and I'm pleased to be with you here in the heart of Lake County, in the 5th Congressional District side of Lake County, to do this interview. And you ask why I love it here. All you have to do is turn those cameras away from me and look at how beautiful it is. We've got Mount Konocti in the background, sitting in the middle of a beautiful hay field with a vineyard on one side and a creek and beautiful oak trees on the other side. It's a beautiful county. The people here are fantastic. I've never not enjoyed being in Lake County. I'd like to talk specifically about gun violence prevention. You know, after the massacre, the just terrible, tragic massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School, I was asked to chair a task force in gun violence prevention. And I've been doing that now since about a week after Sandy Hook. And we've worked hard. We've worked on a bipartisan manner. I've brought in to talk to the task force every imaginable group that has an interest in this, from cops to firefighters to the NRA to Moms Demand Action have come in to explain to us what they think we should be doing in regard to gun violence prevention. We came away from this process believing that the best thing we can do is take steps to make sure that people who are criminals or dangerously mentally ill don't get their hands on firearms. It's the most important thing you can do. And the way you do that is through background checks. So before someone buys a gun, you run a background check. If they're a criminal or they're dangerously mentally ill, they're denied access to that firearm. If you're not a criminal, you're not dangerously mentally ill, you can buy all the guns you want. But this is our first line of defense against people who shouldn't have guns from being able to get guns. We've got 185 or 186 co-authors on that bill now. 5 Republicans, so it's a bipartisan bill. I think when we go back tomorrow into Congress, we're going to pick up another Republican who's expressed interest in co-authoring the bill. We need to have a vote on that bill. We need to bring it up on the House floor, get a vote, and move us ahead in this effort to prevent gun violence. You know, in California, if you buy a firearm, you've got to get a background check. In many other states, you only have to have a background check if you buy it through a licensed dealer. So that means criminals and the dangerously mentally ill from all states, including California, can drive across state lines. They can find an individual selling a firearm. They can buy that gun, and they can come back and they can do damage. We're better than that, and we should make every effort to make sure that we not only protect our Second Amendment rights, but take care of and protect our communities and our schools, and protect against people who are dangerously mentally ill or criminals from getting guns.
People often say that criminals will get guns regardless, and that is the rationale for not having gun legislation. Well, how do you respond to that?
Well, I've had a couple people tell me that. They've said, you know, this isn't going to stop every bad person from getting a gun, and they're right. You can't stop every bad person from getting a gun. There's going to be folks who get guns and do bad things with them. There's going to be people who legally purchase guns and then become criminals or become dangerously mentally ill. So, but if the standard you're going to set is, I will only support a bill that takes care of all of the problems, then you're talking about supporting a bill that bans all firearms. I don't believe that we should do that. I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also believe that criminals and the dangerously mentally ill shouldn't have guns. As a gun owner myself and a defender of the Second Amendment, I think we do a disservice to gun members, to gun owners, and to the Second Amendment by not stepping up and taking this very simple, very easy to understand step in creating a line of defense against bad people getting guns. Well, I think first and foremost in agriculture in California, people are concerned about water. That's a huge issue. There's a never-ending demand to take water from our part of California, the Delta and north of the Delta, to ship south of the Delta. It creates incredible problems from an agricultural perspective, no water, no farms. From a wildlife perspective, we live in the Pacific Flyway, in the middle of the Pacific Flyway, and if we dewater this flyway, it has incredible consequences, deleterious consequences to our wildlife, our migratory birds. Fishing industry is very, very important in Northern California, and when you start dewatering our tributaries and taking water and moving it south through the Delta, it impairs the salmon fisheries up on the north coast, and that ripples out and touches all of us. In our congressional district, we have two major cities that draw their drinking water from the Delta. And if you allow all the water to be diverted south rather than to run its natural course, you're going to have big saltwater intrusion. And cities of Martinez and Benicia won't have drinking water, and that's devastating to a community. So we have to be forever guarded in regard to water. We need to be very careful how we do it. We need to make the investments in infrastructure, the things that have been put off for so many years, both in regard to holding capacity as well as upgrading our current infrastructure to make sure it's run and operated as appropriate as possible to get every drop of water that we possibly can. I live in the district. I come home every weekend. I talk to farmers every day that I'm home. I talk to them when they visit Washington. I talk to them on the phone when they have a problem, and I'm in Washington and they're here. So I know the issues, I know the concerns, and I work closely with them. Right now we're in the middle of redoing our tax policy as it applies to alcoholic beverages. There's a big tax reform to modernize taxes on breweries in California and across the country. Microbreweries are a big new industry, and there seems to be more and more coming online. We're also going to include in that modernization of wine taxes to make sure that our new and emerging winemakers and new wineries will be able to compete and have opportunities to grow their businesses. So this is an ongoing issue, and I'm proud to be supported by agriculture. I'm proud to be agriculture. As you know, I have a small vineyard of my own, make some olive oil as well. So I not only know from a representative's perspective the issues that ag's confronted with, but also from a personal perspective. I live it every day. So I have a real good idea of what's happening in regard to agriculture here at home. Well, I'm running for re-election this year because I have a lot of work to do. look around where we're sitting right now in beautiful Lake County, it's easy to understand why our district is a priority. And I've always felt that the district are my three top priorities. I try and work very hard for the constituents in the 5th Congressional District, which includes this half of Lake County. And we have a lot of work to do. We're right here at home. We're battling back from a devastating fire that just hurt so many families, so many individuals, and burned and scarred our countryside. The community really rallied. It was just an honor and a pleasure to work with everyone from Lake County to not only to fight the fire, but to fight the devastation that fire brought. And we've had some good successes. We still have a long way to go. There's a lot of work left in Washington, D.C. that needs to be done. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. We have tax policy that needs to be reformed. I'm on the subcommittee on Ways and Means on health care, and we still have health care to work on. That's been something, as you know, I've worked on not only since I've been in Congress, but my time in the state Senate as well. I believe strongly that everybody deserves access to quality, affordable health care, and that's been my priority. We need to do all we can to improve the economy and grow jobs in the country. We've had tremendous success in the last 8 years, coming back out of the worst recession that we've ever been in. We've had positive private sector job growth, unprecedented positive private sector job growth. We need to keep that going. We need to make the types of investment that will provide for opportunities for the middle class and for those who wish to get into the middle class. We need to invest in education and health care, in infrastructure, all the things that are important to the people, not only of our district, but people across the United States of America. Not only health care is important for everybody, but retirement security is extremely important as well. And that's why I fight so hard for Social Security and Medicare. There's some who would like to see those privatized. It's completely unacceptable. It would devastate the retirement security of so many of constituents here in the 5th Congressional District, as well as across the country. So I hope that the voters think I've done a good job. I work hard at it. I have an incredibly talented district staff that when I'm in Washington, they work on my behalf here in the district. I don't think a day goes by that we're not helping constituents on a very, very important level, from everything from Social Security benefits to VA benefits to immigration issues. We're a very active office, and we take our work seriously. And I'm proud and honored to represent our district, and I hope that the constituents believe that I've worked hard and done a good job, and hope they return me for 2 more years.